All right, so please note that we are recording now. All right. So again, this is the listing of the names of the PTA members for 2020-2021, and our reign ends next month. So next month will be our last meeting. Just a quick note, we've done really well. We have a link for PTA donations, PTA dues. If you would like to donate at this time, by all means, we'll post the link inside the chat. But it's https://alhs-pta-dues.cheddar.com. In a few slides, the treasurer will be able to go and state how much we've collected so far for the last 2 months that we've had this website up. Next. Okay, Miss Brown and Miss Alston, if you're both on, would you like to go and discuss this slide?
Yeah, Miss Alston is not on just yet, but I do. So what we're doing, hello everyone, I'm sorry. We're giving a summer fun bag giveaway. So it's all of pineapple type of decor per se. You can see what it says. I don't know if you can see it from your phone, if you're looking at your cell phone, but it's a frisbee disc, a beach towel, ball, blow up ball, PPE, which, you know, hand sanitizer, face mask, and so forth. And we have lip balm, sunscreen, tissue wipes, and snacks, and puzzle book, and everything to get you ready for the beach scene. So what we're doing is as you come into the Zoom, I'm taking your names and I'm giving numbers. And should I tell them the numbers now for the ones I have so far, Ms. Scott? Okay. So I'll tell you the numbers I have now, what number I assigned you so far as I see you come in. And closer to where before this is over, we'll definitely call out who won. So it does say that there's one bag for a parent and there's one bag for a teacher. And that all depends, you know, Ms. Scott, I'll message you. So for Miss Lashone Meadows, your number is 50. When I tell you your number, just let me know if you got your number, if you're still on this call. Miss Meadows, your number is 50. Is that okay?
50 or 15?
50.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Miss Gerlin St. Louis-Nicolas, your number is 51.
Thank you.
Okay. Isola Williams, your number is 5252. Just let me know if you can hear me. Just let me know that you hear the number. The name is coming up as Isola Williams.
Yes,
Okay.
I got it.
Okay, thank you. Judith Allen, 5353.
Thank you.
Okay. Sorry for my background noise. I have somebody, I don't see this person no more. I'll skip it. Let me just ask Nina's iPhone. Are you still here, Nina's iPhone? Just in case you change it. No. So Shelly and Stanley, your number is 54.
Thank you.
Okay. Trinice Sutton, 55.
Thank you.
Mr. Yanar, how are you? Your number is 20.
Thank you.
Okay. I think I got it so far. Ms. Scott, I just wanted to ask you in regards to Ms. Medina, is she still able to join in on the giveaway, or no, because she's selected already?
She doesn't come fully on board until July, so she is good.
Okay, so Ms. Medina, 56. Ms. Medina, can you let me know if you hear me that your number
Thank
for
you.
the
56?
Yeah, 50
Thank you.
Okay. I think I got it covered so far. So we'll, if more people join or whatever, and we'll add more numbers, but I think I'm good at that point. The baskets, well, the bags will be at the school. That will be the pickup location, and that'll be coordinated after. I think that's good.
Can you do me a favor and please post the last name as you see it on the screen along with the their number? Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I'm gonna move on. We'll go and show we'll show this several, I think 1 or 2 more times. So if you missed your number, we'll make sure you get it before we actually run the giveaway. Ah, sorry. Okay, we were hoping that the principal would be able to come on. Miss Mohamed, is he running late or he won't be able to attend?
He didn't notify me if he's coming or not.
Okay, is Mr. Robinson going to come on? Because I was told one of them would be.
I have no idea. I'm gonna text him right now.
Okay, please, because I know there's some things that were going on and we would like some details from them. Thank you. I'm gonna move on in the meantime. So here's some regions updates, and Yanar, you might be able to best explain some of this. Do you mind taking a moment to discuss this?
My classes are all remote and my regents is not happening, so
Okay.
I don't know if I have all the information, but if there's, actually, I would be afraid to even say if there are specific questions I can try. I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Okay, no,
Sorry.
I just know that you've been so vocal about it in the past, so I was hoping that you would have some more info. And I'm gonna go and give Mr. Capizzo a hard time because he was supposed to be on tonight. So,
I believe that they are opt-in at this point,
now,
but that's all I got.
do you have any
Robinson's
details of
coming
what?
on.
Okay. So I'm just gonna take a moment for Mr. Robinson to come on then, because I would like for him to explain what it means to be opt-in. But as everyone may or may not know, there'll be 4 Regents exams that would be opt-in. And the 4 are going to be Algebra 1, English Language Arts, Living Environment, and Earth Science. Those are the only 4 that will be available to those who would like to take it. All others have been canceled for June. As soon as Mr. Robinson comes on, or actually
Ms.
perhaps, yes,
Ms. Scott, it's Miss Sandor. I just want to say these documents came from the school website, and I also put a download of these letters from the website into the chat because they're kind of hard to read on the screen. So anybody can just download it from the chat and get all the info that's also posted on the website.
excellent. So the one key thing is a student does not have to sit for an in-person exam to earn a waiver. All students are eligible for Regents exam waivers if they pass the class sequence leading to the exam. Does anybody have any questions about that?
I have a question.
Yes, please, go ahead.
For the waiver, do they have to
Go ahead.
opt into the waiver, or, do they have to sign up for the waiver, or it's automatic?
Ms. Mohamed, at least until Mr. Robinson comes in, can you please provide some insight on that?
What was the question about the waiver?
Do the students have to opt in to receive the waiver, or opt out of taking it in person in order to receive the waiver? Or as long as they're passing the class, it's automatically that we don't have to do anything, that they will be entitled to receive the waiver as long as they pass the class?
That's a very good question for Mr. Robinson. I don't want to give the wrong information as well. He should
Okay.
be coming on.
Okay.
I believe whether the student takes it or not, it does not get factored into like graduation requirements at all. And if they do choose to take it, they can choose then on their transcript if they want the grade to show or not.
Okay.
Hopefully that helps.
But when
Thanks.
Mr. Robinson comes on, I'm gonna go back to this because a lot of us have a lot of questions that we may not know how to correctly formulate. So we're definitely gonna go back to this. Right, because each month I'm hearing different new things. And that's not because of the school, it's because of the information that DOE is putting out. And some of it is based off of interpretation, which is why we're being very careful to make sure that the right people, oh, we don't even have to move on. Here he is. That the right people give out the right information. So if we'll just give Mr. Robinson a moment to chime on. Mr. Robinson, do you hear us?
Whoops. Hi, I hear you. I'm on.
Hey, I'm very sorry. Unfortunately, we have some end of year questions that are very important that we kind of need to have answers for today, specifically the regents. I'm not sure if you're able to see on the screen the regents update that was pulled off the website. And I have someone that has some good questions that I'm actually going to open the floor for her to ask, and I'm sure there'll be more to follow. So go ahead.
That'd be
please.
great.
Hi, Mr. Robinson. My question was, are the students automatically eligible for the waiver if they pass the class? Or is there something that they need to opt in or opt out of in order to receive that waiver?
That's a great question. It's it can be confusing, you know, the way they set everything up, but everybody who passes the class automatically gets the waiver. Okay, so if you pass the class sequence, which would be Algebra 1 and Algebra 2 for Algebra, or Living Environment 1, Living Environment 2, or English, it would be 1 through 5. And Earth Science would be Earth Science 1 and Earth Science 2, you automatically get the waiver. Whether you're in person, remote, sit for the exam, don't sit for the exam, you get a waiver. And the waiver is not a grade, so it doesn't count as a 65, it doesn't count as an 85, it counts as a credit. So that's important for students who might want an advanced Regents diploma with honors. Let's say they want to get 85s on all their tests. The waiver will count just as like a credit. So if a student got 85 average on the other test they take, the student would keep that 85 average with the waiver. The waiver wouldn't affect that. And then if a student does choose to sit for the exam will go, the student will have the opportunity to see that exam grade and then choose whether to, that exam grade would automatically go on the transcript, but unless they choose to have the waiver instead of the exam grade. Okay, so if you think about the way we're doing credits now, if a student got 70 in a class, they could choose to make it a CR instead of a 70. The same thing would be true with their exams. They could choose to make it a WA. Even if they failed the test, right? They got 55, they could choose to make that a WA.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, normally there would be an opt-out process. This opt-in process means that only those who want to take the test would then opt in. So if they blow off the date because for whatever reason they just don't feel like it, they're not going to get hit on missing. They're not going to get hit on not taking the exam.
Yes, that's right. So it is an opt-in. It's only those who want to take the exam will come and take the exam.
And they have until the 28th to opt in, meaning to register for the exam.
Right, that's correct.
Now, the instructions to register for the exam are mainly on MS Teams. Is that correct?
No, it's just a link. So on that letter, if you click on one of those links, you'd be able to register.
Okay,
And the letter is actually posted in the chat.
thank you. And if I also read correctly in the letter, the teachers that are for those particular regions are actually working with the students.
Right, so the information is also being shared with students as well in the classes. So students are being told the same exact thing that I'm telling you all, that's just coming from their classroom teacher. So, it's helpful to hear that from your classroom teacher. It helps, with the importance of just how important it is to actually pass the class, and it helps calm any nerves of anybody who does or does not want to take the test in person.
Okay, before I move on from this, does anybody have any questions? Before I actually move on, one more thing before I move on. Did anyone have, I believe the first day of AP testing started today, is that correct? For digital. I know written was done a week ago.
I don't have the schedule on me, but I know there was a digital test given today, and yeah, I do believe you're right, Ms. Scott.
I just want to give kudos because my son had a very bad morning, and I can say that he was very impressed and happy on the process, and was thankful to the school on having him be calm through the process. Because
That's
when
great.
you have that one bad moment, he was late for the bus and he didn't think he was going to make it, and it totally messed him up. But the whole process, the people who were there that were administrating it, did an amazing job. So I don't know if anyone else hopefully has the similar experience with their child. I just want to thank the school yet again. Kudos. I appreciate what you guys do.
That's wonderful to hear. Thank you. I'm glad.
So here's some additional regions update. Again, this has all been downloaded. It's all posted in the chat. Thank you, Ms. Sandor, because I'm being told not everyone is able to see the screen very clearly. And now I see the links that you were talking about. Thank you. And they only need it to click on those links and sign up if they're taking the exam.
Right. Yeah. If
Okay.
they exam.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. So this is the Lincoln log. Hopefully, and Mr. Robinson, if you can just put a little bug in the principal's ear, I asked for one more Lincoln log to end out the school year. So I think he may be able to do that, but the Lincoln log is a little informational that the principal actually does take the time to scope out certain highlights of teachers, and he does research on them. And he does little inputs of who they are. So each month he'll pick a particular department or teacher and he'll discuss them. And then he'll also put out some quick information of what's going on, such as transcript requests, senior dues, working papers, any important dates that are upcoming. I see on here, report card distribution is going to happen in 2 weeks. So am I correct that this Friday or next Friday is going to be a submission of grades already? Yeah. Oh, Yanar, would you like to discuss that?
I could. Do you want me to? Can I speak
Yes,
on?
go ahead, please,
Okay.
Mr. Robinson.
So marking period 3 grades are gonna. These are gonna be the preliminary marking period 3 grades. They're gonna be due next Friday. The way we structure the end of the marking period is so that as like benchmark grades. So the marking period 3, we submit preliminary grades. It's not like a final grade. The final grade is always marking period 4. That's what appears on the transcript. But we're trying to get to that grade as soon as possible so that students, parents, and teachers can kind of see that grade and And anybody with an NX, you know, that's really going to be the focus. But anybody at all who is not happy with their grade is going to be allowed opportunity for enrichment. But obviously, you know, we're going to be very concerned about any student who has an NX. And it's the same grading policy we've used since the start of the pandemic last spring, and we've been very successful at using that time for student enrichment and for targeting those NX grades. So once we have the marking period 3 grades in, we're gonna average marking period 1, marking period 2, and marking period 3, and we're gonna have a preliminary marking period 4 grade. And that's when parents and students will know for sure where they fall. And that marking period 4 grade is the benchmark grade. So that should be the following week, I believe it's June 4th. We should have that grade available. And it represents a benchmark of mastery. So that means if whatever the student gets there, they're not going to receive a lower grade than that. They only from then to the end of the year have opportunity to increase their grade. Let's see. Any questions? Is that?
I guess one question, and it has to be a communication question, and I apologize. But should teachers be contacting the parents now if the grades are dropping or failing? What's the procedure?
Yep, teachers, we ask all teachers to contact parents of any student, you know, who's struggling, who's failing a
Is
class.
that a courtesy call, or are they required to call?
No, they're required to call. They need to be calling home.
I'll speak to you offline about that one. Okay. Does anybody have any questions before I move on, specifically more about the report card distribution or grades that are going in for 3rd marking period?
I just want to clarify. So he said by June 4th, we should have basically the marking period 4 grade, and that is the lowest grade that will appear on the report card. So they have a chance that they can increase their score, their grade at that time, but that is the lowest grade that would appear on their transcript.
Oh, you're missing out.
Yes, that's correct. For most students, that's going to be the grade. They'll continue their work through the end of the year. But if some students do feel very motivated, let's say they got a 70 and they really want an 80, there's opportunity for them to improve. And like I said, a major focus of the school will be any student with an NX grade.
Thank you. I do have another question, but it's dealing with the summer. I don't know if I should wait. I'm not sure how long you're going to be on the Zoom call.
Mr. Robinson, can we hold off on the summer questions just a little longer?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. I have
I defer to you, Ms. Scott.
I'm
You're
sorry. I do actually have one more question, because you mentioned end of year. Now, technically, pre-COVID, in person, end of year was usually the day before Regents. And then they only went into school when there was Regents, and then came back for their report card the last day. Last year, during Regents, they had to come in for those not co-in. They had to be online in their classes for those last 2 weeks. I know you and I had some discussions, and I'm hearing rumors. I'd like to know officially, what are kids doing during those 2 weeks Regents?
Yeah, so this year is, I guess, kind of in between those two policies, because they did cancel the Regents. So any day that there's not a Regents will be a full instructional day. So whether it's a Monday, there'll be in-person for in-person students, or if it's a Wednesday, it will be remote for all students, but it is a full instruction day for any day that's not a Regents. And the 25th is a Regents rating day, which is also not a instructional day. And those dates are on the website.
Can we skip to the calendar right now, just so we can go over it? Because that was one of the questions for me as a ninth grader. Like, he's not supposed to attend unless a regent
Okay,
is scheduled.
when we get to the calendar, we'll make sure that we focus more on June. So I'm gonna skip the move on because I know we're gonna probably have more questions about the calendar. Is that okay, Mr. Robinson?
Yeah, like I said.
Okay, so hold that question, Ms. Sander. And I'm gonna try to quickly go through the rest of the slides.
But Scott,
Yes,
in regards to the working papers, I see a note here on the right-hand side. Want me to speak on that real quick?
yes, please, go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, so hi. So if any, prior, of course, this year, the city came up with the Summer Youth Employment Program, and I know many students applied. And now is the time, I believe, where the students are being chosen for if you were selected. So if any parent is interested in getting the working papers, if you have not done so, if you look on the slide, you can request the working papers from, it's Miss EB, that's her email address. So what I'll do is I'll put it in the chat for you once we, actually move on. I'll add it to the chat, because once you fill out the Summer Youth Employment Program, they paperwork from their website, they give you like 3 days to submit the paperwork. If you don't have the work and paper at the time, it's okay. There's an option to pick that says that you'll get it before the child is actually starting the employment if they were chosen. So we just want to make that information readily available for you. That's it.
And do you also want to mention how the link on the website was corrected?
Oh yes, I'm sorry. The website, on the website in the
School website.
Right, the school's website had the recent news. If you saw it on there for the paperwork, there was the application website to apply at one point, and then to get the work and papers, that link didn't work. Fortunately, we worked with Miss Mohamed and she was able to fix it. So now if you ever had an issue with it, just, refresh and it'll open up for you, and you'll be able to print up the 2-page document and then submit that paperwork with your child's medical to Miss Reed. It's Miss Bead on here, I'm sorry. So you'll be able to submit it to her, and then she'll get you that information right back to you. What I was told is that you will get an email. She can email you the paperwork, the card, the green card for a certain age and whatever. She can email it to you, and then she can send you a hard copy, because her work hours are from like 9 to 12, like 3 days a week. And I'm not, if your child is going to school, they can always be able to get it. But some parents don't have their children going to school, obviously, so they won't be able to make that, reach out to her, meet her. Thank you.
Great info. Thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions about the Lincoln log other than the calendar? All right, so we're going to move on. So there's not really much going on with the minutes, except for the most important thing is that we did hold elections last month. And the new personnel that will be coming in starting in July is we have the president and co-president, myself and Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones, if you're still on, say hi. We have the recording secretary, Miss Maggie Sandor. Thank you, Mr. Jones. Miss Maggie Sandor, I see that your screen is on. Please wave. Thank you. We have the treasurer and co-treasurer. We have Mr. Sandor and Miss Attwood. So if your screens are on, please wave. We have our vice president, Miss Crystal Brown. Thank you. And we have our corresponding secretary, Miss Letisa Medina. You could just pipe in and say hi. You don't have to turn your screen on.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you.
Hello.
And I want to say a special thank you to Mr. Capizzo. Thank you, Mr. Robinson, for allowing him to assist us last month. Mr. Capizzo is the one that took these amazing notes. So if it wasn't for him, I don't think we would have gotten through it, because nobody that was on the executive board was allowed to take notes. So he was nice enough to step in for us. So thank you very much. Okay, and then as always, our minutes are always posted on the Abraham Lincoln site as well as the Facebook page. I try very quickly within 48 hours to post the video as well as our minutes. And sometimes I do slip and I apologize, but thanks to my team, they help us out.
Are we supposed to approve the minutes, Ms. Scott?
Yes, give me 1 second. And one more thing is the translations can be available for all PTA documents. So if you need this to be converted to a certain language, just email the PTA and we'll be able to assist. So if you want to take a moment to read these of the election minutes, I would like to take a vote to see who would like to accept the minutes.
I move that the minutes be approved.
Thank you. I need a second.
I'll second that motion. This is Mrs.
Thank you.
Attwood.
Second.
Thank you very much. That was heard. I had Mr. Sandor, Miss Attwood, and Miss Medina. Thank you very much. We're gonna move on. Teachers Corner. We had Teachers Appreciation the beginning of May. I want to make sure that many people may not have known when the teachers went back, we had a huge thank you for them when they came back because they took our children back. So of course we had to thank them because we didn't want our children in our homes anymore. So thanks to the teachers, we gave them little dedications of sweets so that they could get through the school day. And hopefully many of the teachers did get it. And we just wanted to make sure to let parents know that we made sure that the teachers were not forgotten. So this is a thank you from you guys to the teachers. And we're gonna try to do this again in September if all goes well. Okay, Yanar, by any chance, because unfortunately you're the only teacher, is there any details, information, how-tos that you would like to go and share to the parents?
Just to add on about grades, whenever students ask about like when the end of the marking period is, and you say there's always a mix up between like when teachers need to have their grades in and when students need to turn in the work. So like my grades are due the 28th. So if students are turning things in on the 28th, I'm probably not seeing it, at least not in time to, yeah, like the work can be done, but they don't get the credit for it until I get to grade it, basically. And when they're all waiting to the last minute, it becomes an issue every time. I guess this time around, it's a little different given the preliminary grade business and then like the final grade business coming later, but not waiting till the last minute as much as possible. And then I guess I'll put in a word for the NXs from the fall semester. The deadline for that, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Robinson, is June 1st for teachers to put in the new grades. So any student who's trying to make up the credit from the first half of the year should either already be done or like happening like this week, next week.
Yeah, you got that right. That's correct.
And not only were the students informed, but I hope that the parents were also contacted individually of the status of their child, that they had to have this work in by the 1st, or you guys only dealing with the students for the NX grades?
Can't speak to that, but it does show up on the report card like another grade. So if nothing else, there was like kind of like the progress report, almost as if like it was the marking period 2, marking period 1, marking period 2, marking period 3.
And parents have been informed, yes, through the phone calls.
I actually have a quick question on that, because again, we're being told that we should be looking at pupil path. Look at pupil path. Pupil path tells us what's going on. Pupil path is not matching with what's on Teams. So how are we supposed to help the teachers to ensure that the grades don't wait until the last day that it's due if we don't know? Because if we look at pupil path right now, it's 0 across the board on many of the students, or the grades are, the projects aren't posted, or they're posted and it's 0. How can we help if we're not on Teams? And it also can be quite challenging because now you have a child getting into trouble because, you know, we're told you look at pupil path. But if you look at pupil path, the kids are failing, but they're not. So I don't know, maybe this is a Mr. Robinson question. This has been going on for some time, and I know you guys are doing your best to fix it, but I mean, we want to help as parents, but I don't know how.
Every teacher should be keeping an up-to-date grade book and schedule. That's our policy. It does get in, you know, there are guidelines as to what we can specifically ask of a teacher regarding grade books, but we want every teacher posting their grades on pupil path so that parents and students can see them. And you know, if that's not happening, I guess I need to be made aware of it.
Okay, then I'm gonna have to push this question to the parents. Are the parents fully aware when looking at pupil path, their child's current grade at this moment?
No.
I can answer to that because I just went through it with my daughter yesterday. Things changed dramatically from like one week to the next. All of a sudden, everything was updated and changed, like all the grades, and then some of the stuff, the grades were low, and I was like, "Oh, what's going on? Do you have an issue? Do you need help?" And she's like, "Oh, no, those are fake. That was last week. It's already done. I already talked to the teacher, and you know, it's already in." And so, I think the problem is that scheduler is not really, like, everything is to be entered by hand afterward, and so it's always going to be days late compared to what the kids see in Teams. Like, they see it in Teams, and then I mean, for my daughter, what happened is, like, one of the assignments showed that it was not turned in, but she knew she turned it in, and so when she saw the grade in Teams, she was like, "Hey, I turned that in, how come?" And I guess it just didn't show. Like, sometimes that happens, like some of the work gets forgotten, but now she knows to save her work before she sends it. So she was able to like do screen grabs and then send that. And then the grade was corrected. But in Schedulite was still, like, as of yesterday, was still, now today it's been fixed. But I think what's going on is that you're really looking at something that's maybe like anywhere between 3 and 5 days after. And I understand why, because they're already like grading everything and they're very busy. And then they have to enter an extra step completely separate.
Okay, before Yanar and Mr. Robinson responds, I believe Miss Meadows
Yes.
was making a statement. Can you please go ahead? And then whoever else wants to respond after Miss Meadows, and then I'll ask Mr. Robinson and Yanar to respond. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so no, I'm not seeing the grades in pupil path. There's like 2 or 3 of my son's classes that for the third marking period, it looks like there's no assignments been, like there's nothing been scheduled. There's nothing. There's no grade up there. He has grades for the other ones, but these 3 classes, it shows like there was no work assigned at all in pupil path. Because I have access to his Teams account. When I do go in Teams, I've noticed some classes it was showing like the work is missing, and like you said, then he gets in trouble because I'm like, why are you not doing your work? Why is this work not saying turned in? And he said, oh, we did it in class, because he's an in-person student. So I reached out to one of the teachers that was happening to, and he says that there's like an in class, it should say in class, but I don't see that on my end. So I don't want to penalize him, and he gets in trouble, or you can't, you're grounded or whatever, you don't have access to this stuff because it looks like you're not doing your work. Meanwhile, he is. But how do we as parents know is that there has to be another way that we can see the truth. We can see exactly the grades that they have. Pupil Path looks like he has no assignments. And like I said, in Teams, which I'm lucky to have access to, it still looks like he's not turning in work. So if he's hybrid and he's doing his work, can there be like another section for in person that we can see that the work was graded, because it's not showing up in any of these sections? If he turned the work in, he turned it in class, why is it still not being reflected? Why they aren't reflecting that it is turned in?
And Miss Meadows, 9th or 10th grade?
9th.
9th, okay. Yeah, and I'm having a similar issue with 10th grade. I actually have to echo with what Miss Meadows says. Is there any other parent that can discuss this as well?
Yeah, there's something in the chat.
Thank you. If you could read that.
Mr. Jones said that I had to find out from Teams and report card that my son had an NX grade for one of his classes. In Pupil Path, there are only 2 teachers that are showing grades, and the rest of the teachers are not using Pupil Path. This is basically a lack of communication. Yep.
Don't answer yet, Mr. Robinson. Hold on. Is there anyone else? Or is everyone just echoing the same frustration that's been going on all year? Okay, Mr. Robinson, you're not, as you've heard it, not only on the remote side of the house, it's also the blended side of the house. And we've known this for some time and we've brought it up, but now that we're so close to the end of the year, I mean, I'm really concerned about a parent not even knowing that their 9th grade child has an NX. That I'm a little concerned, because that could have been fixed before the NX grade populated. I know you'll discuss that one-on-one with the parent, but as an overall, if it's happening with him, I'm sure it's happening with others. So I know you take communication to heart. So if you can discuss with us, Mr. Robinson, without getting too upset, I'd appreciate your input.
Okay, thank you. For any parent here who was not aware of who did not get any communication from a parent regarding a student who has an NX, if you could just reach out to me. I'm going to type my email in the chat. It's a little hard for me to see kind of everybody's name on here. So I would appreciate a follow-up if that's okay. And then what I'm hearing about Pupil Path is that it's uneven, right? Some teachers are using it, some teachers aren't using it. And that parents are saying that even those who are using it, you would appreciate more timely feedback. Is that correct? That pretty much summarizes it. Okay, so I can share that. I will definitely share that information with department heads to pass that along to teachers. As we get closer to the end of the year, these report cards are coming out, so that's going to be a good mark of progress. And there's going to be multiple marks of progress with the preliminary grades and the 4th marking period grades. So that should be helpful. I wish I could just, snap my fingers and every teacher will put in all their marks and you know, we would be ready. But in lieu of that, these marking period grades are going to be helpful. So be on the lookout for those. And we're going to have to think, you know, I think we're going to have to think about this issue long term, as in not just, you know, addressing it with department APs, but maybe thinking about it structurally, which we can definitely do going into next year. So thank you for, you know, bringing it up as a concern.
And I know that we're looking long-term. I'm really nervous about these grades for next week, as well as the end of the marking period. And we have a very, very short span, especially if you have students whose parents don't know about these NX grades, and now they have less than a week to fix it. And I don't know when the NX grade populated, but just say hypothetically, if that NX grade was last term, and now you're saying June 11th, June 1st is the deadline. What if they didn't know and now they've lost that June 1st date? Is the June 1st date only for the fall semester or any kids in general?
That's just
The
fall
first
semester.
year. Sorry.
Okay, I'm very, very concerned about that.
Okay.
But I know you're gonna look into that. I know once things are brought to your attention, you work very diligently. I wrote down the names of those who spoke, and I'll let them speak to you privately further. I'll at least just give you the names in an email, but those parents that did speak up or those who didn't, please email Mr. Robinson, email Miss Mohamed. Let them know. And if for some reason, which I doubt, you don't get a response from Mr. Robinson, message me just your name and to say, I've been contacting him, he's not responding, and we will let him know to find it. But I can assure you, Mr. Robinson is very good on response, and he takes communication seriously when he knows it's not being done.
Yeah, and you know, this is gonna help us figure out what's going on, because I've seen the phone logs. You know, I know these NX. It's not like, you know, it's just said that, yeah, we contact parents. No, it's logged that we have contacted parents of students with NXs. So any communication that's been lost in the fray, A, we want to make sure the parent knows, but B, we want to know so we can improve any system we have.
So hopefully we'll be hearing from parents between now and Tuesday about what's going on if our children's grades have dropped before Monday, before the 28th.
I'm sorry, say again.
So somewhere between Friday and Tuesday, for any parents for any kids whose grades have gone down or are failing, we should be getting calls from those teachers, guaranteed. I know you can't guarantee.
I know I cannot guarantee that.
But you'll push the factor that it's highly imperative that they contact us, that they
Yes.
contact the
They've
parents.
been acting throughout, right? Ideally, that's what's happening.
It's not, but I'm gonna let everyone know on Facebook, it's gonna be guaranteed. Because whatever goes on Facebook is true, so. All right, I have to say that from a year ago, communication has definitely gotten better. I know for some parents, it doesn't look like it has, but a year ago, last May, we've come a long way with the school. So that's why I know for a fact that communication is very big with Mr. Robinson. I'm on the phone with him at least 5 times a month for several hours discussing this. So I'm sorry that I put some of you on the spot, but as you can see, Mr. Robinson, I'm not imagining it. Yanar, you had one more thing before we move on?
Yeah, for the teachers who don't use Pupil Path at all, I will say that it is frustrating from my side as well, because I'll have students message me and ask if they're passing, and I can tell them for my class, but then I also look them up and I tell them about their other classes, like you should really focus on this one or that one, and I only have the information that's there. But as for using Pupil Path and putting the grades in, I used to be somebody who updated it at least weekly, and I will say that even I have fallen off, because remotely, I want to say having an up-to-date I don't want to say that it's impossible, but it is in a way, because I will grade an assignment, I'll hit the refresh button and I'll see like 5 more there that came in as I was grading. So like there's almost no such thing as like exactly up to date with remote. Like during week 1 of the marking period, I'll grade week 1 stuff, and then week 2 I'll grade the late from week 1 and the week 2, and then week 3, week 1, week 2, week 3. Like it just keeps on like adding up and adding up when all the assignments are open all the time. It does get pretty unmanageable. So I guess not that fixes the problem, but just some perspective on why that might be happening.
I have
And
a question.
oh, go ahead,
Can
go ahead.
I just have a question about that. In the old system, like before we were all remote, how would teachers manage that? Like late assignments? I mean, wouldn't they just say it's too late, you can't turn it in? Or, I mean, how did that work? Like, was there a cutoff that's not happening anymore?
Yeah, like I guess in person, I would have the worksheets like available from like the previous week if you were absent, but the students that would take advantage of it, I guess, were very few. Versus now I have everything is possible to do asynchronously, so you know they can take advantage of all of it. I don't know if that fully answered it, but
Miss Sander, I know that a lot of times with what's going on in the remote world, they're trying very hard not to assume that everyone across the board has the same ability to be on a computer at a certain time and have the internet available throughout. So instead of saying, okay, it's due on the 5th, yeah, it's due on the 5th, but you talk to me, you let me know what's going on, I'll work with you. And that's across the board in all schools because you're remote. I know previously when we were in person, if my son missed a deadline, that was it. You were done. There was no, oh, we'll get back to you, unless he sat there and the whole world had fallen apart, then maybe. But no, they were, if it was due the 5th, it was due the 5th and nothing more than that. But they have been lax. I don't know if it's because the school allows to be lax or DOE required it, but it's hard to put it across the board. You got people who live in shelters, or their parents have been sick, or they don't have the money. There's still people who don't have computers. And I'm not saying with our high school, but they don't have computers, they don't have internet access or steady internet access. So the teachers can't penalize these students as much as they want to. Did I say that anything wrong in that aspect?
School policy and DOE policy. Like in person, if I had like a makeup day at the end of the marking period, I might get 1 assignment, 2 assignments extra. Now, every time a marking period ends, last like 3 days of the marking period, I will have several kids hand in all 6 weeks of work all at once. And then like, what am I supposed to do with that? It makes it difficult.
Okay. Ms. Sander, I just realized I took your slides. So do you have any other input that you would like to discuss? I'm sorry, Ms. Sander.
No, not at all. No problem.
I got to look up at the initials next time. My apologies. All right, so we're going to move on. Thank you very much. Hopefully somebody has more details on graduation. I believe we pulled this off the website. So before we go any further, do we have any seniors on this call? All right, so we're not going to go too much in depth, but I just want to make sure that the information that's on here is accurate for anyone that may just want pass it on. Mr. Robinson, Yanar, or Ms. Mohamed, is there anything that's not correct? Specifically the 2 sessions divided by last name on the 24th?
The website, as far as I know, is correct. That's the latest information we have.
Okay. And up until when are you accepting senior dues?
I know we will accept senior dues We have different deadlines for that. But if it's a question of a student not making it to graduation because of senior dues, you know, they need to reach out to Mr. Molina because regardless of any kind of deadline, we wouldn't ever want to have that happen.
And am I correct that though we are not getting information, the seniors are getting as much information from the senior team via emails to the parents, to MS Teams? Is that accurate?
Yep, that website is the most accurate way to stay informed.
Moving forward, could the PTA get some information so that we can ensure that that information is also put out there to the families? We're not getting any information for seniors. And it would be nice to be able to share that in case one or two people were missed out there,
Sure.
which might be the case. Alrighty, so I'm gonna move on. While I was talking, Ms. Brown actually posted about the summer youth application and who to contact, so thank you very much. Okay. If I can have the team that's gonna discuss the summer bag giveaway, and I believe 2 more families popped in during the conversation, so if you could read the numbers again.
I think that someone just like we lost them. I don't know what happened to that person, but only person I see was added was M. Gomes. Is it Gomes?
Yes.
Hi, Ms. Gomes. We started off with the summer bag giveaway that the slide is showing right now, and I'm going to assign you a number. Your number is 5757, and I'm going to put it in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
And closer to the end, we'll call off the winners, and it'll be one for a parent and more so one for a teacher. And then the bags will be picked up from the school, and that'll be coordinated for whoever wins. Okay, you just missed that part.
For anyone that's not on the SLT or executive board, have you all received your numbers?
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, I should probably say, is there anyone who hasn't received a number? There we go. All right, nothing heard. I'm gonna move on. Thank you. Oh, sorry. I know this is very small, but I try to put it up as occasionally as possible. This is the school contact tree. This basically has the assistant principal's information as well as the student counselor information. If anyone wants, by a particular grade, their counselor's contact information, let me know, or you can get with Ms. Mohamed on that information. And Ms. Mohamed, if you get a chance, if you could please post your email on there, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Nothing heard. I'm gonna move on. Not really gonna discuss too much. I'm having an amazing team. I have to say that I'm learning to relinquish stuff. So I've been leaning on my current president as well as my soon-to-be president, co-chair president, and current vice president, and they're doing a great job. And the rest of the teams, the secretarial and financial team, you guys are doing amazing, so thank you. I know that your alternates are shadowing, but I think they're doing an amazing job coming up to speed on things. So thank you for working with me, and thank you for being patient with me. So with that, we're gonna go and start looking at the calendar. I believe your main question, Ms. Sandor, is really for June. So before we move to June, does anyone have any questions for May? So just note for next week, the preliminary grades go in on the 28th, but if at all possible, if there's anything due, and hopefully the teachers will let us know no later than Tuesday, please have it in before the 28th so you're not sitting there all weekend grading them. Okay.
Our grades go in Thursday and Friday, so I don't even have the choice to grade it over the weekend.
Oh, so yeah, get it in by Wednesday. so they're not freaking out.
I almost told you you had the holiday Monday. Sorry, Mr. I was like, you have another day, but okay.
And then, of course, there's no school, not even remote, on the 31st. Hopefully, Mr. Hookaboom will give the teachers a day off and you guys won't have to work on Monday as well. So the most important thing, oh, and please note that this calendar was pulled as the 17th. That includes the calendar for June. We have some major questions on this. So we're gonna go day by day. Does that work for you, Miss Sander?
Sure.
Okay. So on the 1st of June, it's blended. 2nd of June, it's a Wednesday. It's remote learning, but for the student, when I say remote learning, it's for students that it's remote learning as well as students that go in for study hall. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Thursday, the 3rd of June, that's an anniversary day, no school. So there's no school on June 3rd, not even remote.
Correct.
Okay. 4th, this is where I think there's some confusion because on the 28th, you have grades go in and then you have preliminary grades due. So are they getting preliminary and then a report card?
So the 28th, the preliminary grades are due for marking period 3. So these are preliminary grades for marking period 4. So basically what will happen is grades will be put in on Friday, and then our programming office will average out marking period 1, marking period 2, and marking period 3 grades and populate a marking period 4 grade. And then teachers will have a few days to review the marking period 4 grades and confirm them before that Friday, the 4th, when those preliminary marking period 4 grades are due. And that's the benchmark I was talking about. Once those grades are confirmed by the teacher, that's the minimum benchmark of mastery that the student has already achieved.
Okay. Ms. Brown, do you want to go day by day, starting with June 7th to the 11th?
Sure. So the 7th is blended learning. I'm sorry, the 7th is the 8th and the 9th are all, I'm sorry, blended learning on the 7th. I don't have my glasses on, sorry. The 8th is blended learning. The 9th is remote. The 10th is our next PTA meeting and our last one for this school year. I'm sorry, my background is so loud, I'm sorry. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. And the Friday, I guess that's nothing. I don't know what the Friday is. Is that nothing, Ms. Scott? There's nothing there.
I don't know, Mr. Robinson, Ms. Mohammed, what's happening June 11th?
It should be a normal day. Those days should be populated. I'm not sure why they're not populated correctly, but we'll have to fix it.
Okay, so June 10th would be a normal day of blended learning.
Right.
And then the 11th is remote learning / study hall.
Yeah, correct.
And the week gonna.
No, I got Mr. Jones is gonna take that. Mr. Jones, if you can go day by day, please.
Great.
No problem. On June 14th will be blended learning. June 15th will be blended learning. On Wednesday, June 16th is remote learning. On Thursday, June 17th, ELA Regents, no class.
So if I could, that means that only the kids who are taking the ELA Regents report it all to the school. Nobody reports blended, I mean, remote, like nobody does anything except for those ELA test takers.
That's correct.
Thank you.
So to echo what Ms. Sanders said, there's no remote learning. They're not going to be pulled in for that day.
Correct. There's no remote learning that day.
Okay.
Okay, and on June 18th is remote learning.
Is there a study hall on the 18th?
Yes, yep. I imagine the study hall, we're gonna keep the study hall available as long as students are using it. So,
Alright.
so as of now, yes, it will be running it.
All right, I'm gonna take the final week. Blended learning, last day of class is the 21st. So that means no more class. They're done,
That's right. That's it.
Okay, the 22nd is living environment regions, no class. The 23rd, no class. That includes no study hall, no remote sessions.
Correct.
Okay. Earth science, there'll be no class as well. And there's also going to be a graduation of 2 parts.
Correct.
And then the 25th is a Regents rating day, meaning you take a team in to review everything. So the last day officially is the 21st.
Correct.
When do they get their report cards?
Report cards will be done digitally.
When?
It should. I don't see it on here.
Mm-mm.
The final report cards will be available by the 25th.
Should be or will be?
No, they will be available by the 25th.
And when you say digital, they actually have to go onto Pupil Path or My Student to find it.
Right, the same
It's
way
not
we've
like
been
you guys
doing it all
issue it.
year. Right, right.
Does anybody have any questions about this?
The calendar, no, but what if you need a hard copy of their report card?
If you wanted to reach out, anybody who needs a hard copy of the report card, it can be printed straight from the My Students account, or the Students Guidance Counselor can help, or Ms. Mohamed can also help, or I can help for that matter.
When is the last day we can contact teachers if the report cards are, let's say, they go out on the 25th? When is your last, you know, when is everyone's last day? Because
the last day is the 25th.
so if we get the report card on the 25th, you would have to, if you couldn't get it any other way, is that the last day to reach out to teachers is what I'm kind of asking.
Yeah, yes, reaching out to teachers needs to happen before that. Yes, correct. That's why we're doing these preliminary grades is to ensure we have enough time to have that communication.
I'm sorry, Mr. Robinson. I'm having a hard time with that one because as you can tell with the communication of parents not knowing, if the 25th is when they get the report card, and I know that's just nothing new, but the 25th they get the report card, and based off of lack of information, they don't find out to the 25th. I'm playing devil's advocate.
Well, why would they find out on the 25th if they're getting report cards? If they're getting two report cards earlier than that, you're going to be able to get the report cards when marking period 3 grades come in, and you're going to be able to get report cards when marking period 4 grades are initially put in.
So when you were talking about with the preliminary marking period 4, that locks in their grade. They will not go any lower than that.
Correct.
Only higher.
Correct.
Okay, I can work with that.
Yeah, that makes better sense. Thank you.
That makes a little bit more sense. I heard you, but when I saw when you said last day is the 25th, it didn't register, so I apologize.
I have a question. When do you find out if a student is taking in-person Regents? When would those scores be available? And are those also through My Student or some other way?
Yeah, those will be available through My Student. We usually are able to update Pupil Path as well. like usually by the following Wednesday after the 25th. That would be, it looks like the 30th. Pupil path is usually updated also. But as those exams get graded, that's when they go on the transcript. So the grading will be done in-house this year. And as soon as the grades come up, they'll hit the transcript, and that's when they'll be available on pupil path on the report. I'm on my students on the report cards.
Is the school recommending that the students take it so they can see, the assessment that they have? Or they prefer you not to? That's one less thing for the teachers or whoever's scoring to do.
I mean, it's definitely a decision left up to the parents. I have no reason to encourage anybody to take the test, to be honest with you, but that's not to say, that there could be reasons, I guess.
That's a personal preference, not a school preference.
Right, it's a personal preference. And, but I am able to, I can say that I really don't see, the whole system was put into place so that it's no harm, right? So there's really no harm to taking the test. If you believe in these tests because you want to know, where your child is at according to these tests, then yes, do it. But definitely not, because you're worried about what it would look like on the transcript or missing out on a learning opportunity. I wouldn't be too concerned about all that.
Okay, thank you.
And the grade and this doesn't reflect on the teacher. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, because that's another one of my concerns. I would hate to have that, the grades reflect on whether or not the teacher performed, where it's not really their fault on how everything played out this year.
Right.
All right, if there's nothing more on our last few weeks of May and June with this school year, I just want to put out there that we have the official calendar of 21-22. We didn't have to wait until August, so that's awesome. We also have it posted on our Facebook, and I know the school also has posted it on their website as well. The first day of school, and we'll reiterate it in June, will be September 13th. And then, of course, we have days off thereafter. I believe I'm correct on stating that we really don't know in full detail how exactly the school year will open up, meaning we don't know if it's going to stay blended and remote, or we're going to go full force 100% in, vaccinated, not vaccinated. The school DOE doesn't have those full details as of yet. Is that correct, Mr. Robinson? Or Ms. Mohamed?
Sorry, I was muted.
That's okay. I just want to make sure. I mean, if anyone has questions about September, you guys, the DOE really hasn't provided any guidance. So you're not quite sure, except to know on the 13th school starts.
Correct. We have no guidance about what in-person is going to look like, or what, if there's going to be in-person remote. We have no information on that right now.
And whether or not kids will be mandated to be vaccinated, or does it matter? Again, those are questions that we really won't know until we get closer, most likely right before school starts.
Yeah, I can't even speak to when we're going to know. Honestly, we have no information, unfortunately. I can't give you any kind of timeline.
Now, I know there was a when are we able to contact the school over the summer if anyone has any questions, say about summer school, if their kid has to do it, or they just have to talk to administration about anything? Will the school be open, and who would be that point of contact?
Both myself and Miss Mohamed are working this summer, so you have two great contacts there. You have both our
Okay.
emails in the chat, and that'd be the best way to contact somebody.
And the preference in workflow would be Miss Mohamed, then you, or at least email both of you at the same time.
Yes, Miss.
Miss Mohamed would be the preferred first point of contact.
Yeah, Miss Mohamed is wonderful. So I say Miss Mohamed.
No, she is fabulous, and I thank you. Now, I know the last day, real quick, is the 25th of June, and I should have gone back. When do you guys return so we can start harassing you guys?
We're working straight through. We have that July 5th, I think we have off, and then we work straight through.
Okay, so starting July 6th is when you guys will start responding once school is closed on the 25th of June. I guess what I'm getting at is if I'm emailing you the 29th of June, you may not be looking at your guys' email until July 6th.
No, I'll be working straight through getting ready for summer school. I'll be attached to my email then.
Okay. Because I know that's been a question as to who's around. So that is Miss Mohamed and Mr. Robinson. If someone can post both their emails in the chat again, I would appreciate that. Any questions?
I have two.
Yes, please.
Okay, so I know someone, one of my son's friends is interested in transferring to Lincoln. They did not do the application this year.
Can I ask you to hold those questions just a few more moments? Is that possible? Because then I like to have that towards the end.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to push this quickly so we can get through the slides, and then miscellaneous questions that are just as important, I definitely want to put out there.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Treasury report?
Sure. So treasurer's report is fairly straightforward. We started this month.
Are you talking this through, or Miss?
Oh, sorry.
Or Miss Attwood, because she still is the primary person.
Of course.
No,
Ms.
no,
Attwood?
it's okay. Mr. Sandor can do the presentation.
Okay.
And that's completely okay with me.
Okay.
You know.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I didn't want to take it. You're still in charge for two more months, Ms. Attwood.
I know, but Mr. Sandor is fully conversant with the report, and he knows because he actually did the work. So I would.
Wow.
Thank you very much. Mr.
Sandor,
take it away.
We're a good team. So we started the month, and remember, this is from April 1 to April 30th. So even though today's May 20th, it just feels it's a little bit longer, but that's just because we're later in the month of May. So our starting balance was $1,128.29. We did receive some contributions, and we are, as you can see, earning a very small amount of interest, a grand total of 25 cents. So our total balance at the end of April, $1,178.54. There were no expenses in April. There will be some in May. We were talking earlier about the baskets and some of the other PTA events as well. So there will be more expenses in May, and hopefully some additional revenue contributions in May as well. But that's where we are, $1,178.54.
I just would like to add one thing. Traditionally, this would be the time during the meeting when we were in person where we would pass the envelope and asking to anyone who can't contribute to put $5 in an envelope to fund the PTA. If you can afford it, I know it's been a very hard year for many people, and so it's definitely not, you don't have to do it, but if you can, it would be much appreciated. It really helps us fund what we do, which is support the teachers and support our scholars. So we're going to put the link to Cheddar in the chat. And I mean, if you can put more than $5, we'll take it. But $5 would be much appreciated if you can do that. Thank you very much.
Leah knows.
And these donations actually, These donations actually helped out, such as paying for the teachers, oh gosh, paying for the thank yous to the teachers when they came back. We also have been raising the funds so that we can go and give mini scholarships to the students. In the past, we've gone and done Hope Awards. Ms. Attwood or Mr. Sandor, if you want to discuss the Hope Awards and the upcoming, I believe it's Grits Award that we're going to do.
Yes.
Okay, if you could please take a moment to discuss that.
Yeah. So the Hope Award has been going on for years, and what it is, the PTA awarding $50 to rising seniors. No, actually, seniors were graduating seniors. And this year, the PTA is also funding 6 more awards for 9th, 10th, and 11th grade. And we're calling it the Grit Awards, which is a value of Abraham Lincoln, like grit and resilience. And it will be a $25 award, 2 per grade, to reward students who have persevered through, any difficulties that they had this year, and managed to stay on track or get back on track, even though they had things that might have pushed them sideways. It was a difficult year for many, but students who are resilient and display Lincoln values will be nominated by the teachers to get an award, and the PTA will award 6 students a $25 award. So it's not much, but as Miss Medina posted in the chat, we have many families, and if everybody could contribute $5 a month during school year, we could raise $85,000. So obviously it's not realistic. Not everybody can actually contribute $50, but even if half the families did, we would have so much more money. We could actually have Hope Award that would be $1,000 per student, that would help them to go to college. Or we could have Grit Awards that would be much higher, and we would love to do that. So it's, the donations don't go to us. They go back to the teachers, they go back to the students, they go back to the school. And it's really a demonstration of how you support the work that both your children and the teachers put together at the school. And we just posted my cheddar up in the chat. Mr. Sandor, thank you very much. So if you would like to put some dues, this is the time. All right, thank you. And that's it. Mr. Sandor, do you want to add anything?
Again, we're getting ready for the next school year, looking for hopefully a somewhat more normal school year. And with that, we have some really interesting ideas that the PTA is cooking up for next year. I don't want to spoil anything just yet, but again, any support from parents and supporters as well, gratefully appreciated. But again, we have some good things in store that we'll hopefully be able to do next, starting for the next school year. So,
and if anyone has any ideas, I know we have a person that's
absolutely.
been giving us amazing ideas. Thank you very, very much. I don't want to put them on the spot, but thank you. But if anyone else has amazing ideas, we're fielding that information. And then over the summer, we're going to make some decisions on how we're going to move forward. And since Mr. Robinson is not taking any time off, he'll be hearing from us all summer long. I know he's excited about it.
Whether he likes it or not, of course. Right?
Oh, I'm just very happy about it.
Of course.
Of course, I'm very happy about that. I wouldn't want to be in summer school, but all alone.
Oh, just before we go to here, for summer school, will that be full in person or mixture? I forgot to ask that. Or unknown at this time.
We just found out that we are going to be allowed to do blended learning for summer school. Okay. So it's going to be a mixture.
So I guess I would like details on that, not the kids by name, but how it's going to be presented at the June meeting.
Yes, that's
okay.
That would be great. We just found out about this, so we don't have the details yet. We've been waiting for guidance from the city.
Not that you would tell us by name on who's going, but if we could have an idea when it starts, when it ends, blended, if they're gonna do remote, that means the kids can still go on vacation and still be able to be in school remotely. That would be an awesome thing to know.
Yes, absolutely.
And of course, you'll probably have details on any kids that, even though they're not failing, will be attending the school to maybe get additional credit to move on. Is that summarizing?
That's summarizing. The whole thing is going to be under the name of summarizing. We did send out a little information just previewing what the plan is as far as what we're going to be offering as a school, which is credit accumulation for all students, for any student that's off track who's mandated to take summer school, as well as for any student who's on track that wants to earn credits. We're going to have a program available for them. We're going to have our 9th grade summer bridge for our incoming 9th graders, and we're going to expand that also to a 10th grade summer bridge. And we're going to have mandatory summer school classes for our NX students, any student with remaining NXs from term 2 of this year also.
Okay, but we'll have all that information in June. I'll get with you and we'll put a talking slide together.
Yeah, it is. We did send it out on the website, that initial plan, but not specific dates and times because we didn't have that information yet.
Hopefully in June, right before June, June's meeting, we'll have that. Ms. Sandor, I saw you were you had a question?
Well, he said something about the 10th grade summer bridge. What is that program? Is that more an orientation for incoming transfer kids, or I'm not sure, what would that be?
So we feel like our 9th graders, we had a summer bridge last year, but it was remote, and we really want to provide some enrichment. So it's going to be a lot of social emotional fun activities. It's not going to be credit bearing. It is going to be skill based and social emotional learning based activities.
Specifically geared for the students who were still remote, and now you're welcoming them with open arms in person to get familiar with the school.
Yes, that's our hope. It's like an additional opt-in that we're able to offer over the summer before we come back in September. Just to see Lincoln, to maybe make some friends.
Okay. And Nina will be there?
Nina will be there. She'll be there all summer with me.
Excellent. I miss Nina. I got to go by and visit. All right. I believe this is what we've been waiting for. Is this we're ready to start spinning? Is that correct?
Yep. So,
all right.
So thanks to Miss Crystal Brown, we have 8 people, 8 non-faculty, non-PTA members. Last call, if there's anyone who's not, whose name is not in the chat, I will share my screen. And
I just want to say, like, faculties are eligible. It's just administration, right?
Right. Oh no, I mean
I think Mel Yanar is the only person. So
we only have one teacher.
Okay.
Correct.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Your odds are looking good there. I gotta say,
this one's gonna be hard, Yanar. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I don't know if we're gonna be able to do it this year.
Well, don't forget, last time you had 50-50 odds, and it didn't work. So now this time you have 100% odds. Yes.
She was an AP, so she shouldn't have been eligible.
Right. It might have to be a dance off. I don't know, Mr.
Okay.
Yeah, see, Mr. Capizzo's not showing up, so he's been losing out. So we got to talk to him about this. All right, the
Mel,
floor
you
is
have
yours.
to tell all your teacher friends, though, all the fabulous stuff that you've been getting at the PTA meeting, so maybe they can be encouraged to come attend.
Call them from the beach.
Okay. So hopefully everyone can see the screen here. We have numbers 50 through 57. Hearing no objections, is that correct, Ms. Crystal Brown? All right.
Yes, it is.
Fantastic.
What a beautiful wheel.
That was awesome, Mrs. Sandra.
Oh, well, you know, I mean, come on, we've got to do this the right way.
This is
So,
great.
so,
Look at
No,
that graphic.
so not only do we have numbers, but we also have the names. So this way, there's no confusion
Amazing.
whatsoever.
Is it touchscreen? Can I, no?
I don't think there's a Vanna White option. I think I have to handle it myself.
Right.
So, if that's okay.
Thank you.
Under normal circumstances, I might say let's do a practice one, but I'm not going to.
Hold on, is
Yes, ma'am.
everyone able to view and see that there is a picker wheel on the screen?
Yes.
If you're
okay.
not able to view, please say so.
Yep. So just for the record, here are the names. All right. And this is again directly. Thank you to Miss Crystal. These are I just cut and pasted directly from the text. So there you are. All right. Let's see. All right. Well, hearing no objections, let's do it. Ready?
This is very exciting. I'm not even there and I'm very excited. All right, Ms. Gomez. Yay.
Woo.
Ms.
All
Gomes,
right. Wonderful.
Ms. Gomes, are you still on the line?
Yes.
All right. Congratulations.
Come on down. You're the next.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Are we able
We're gonna be
Congratulations.
congratulations. We're making coordination. I believe Mr. Sander will coordinate with Mr. Robinson on dropping it off, and then we'll let you know when to pick it up.
I'm sorry, you said Mr. or Mrs. Sandor?
Mr.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
We're gonna make coordination with Mr. Robinson
Yes, that's a great idea.
as to when we can drop it off, and then I'll let you know when it's okay to
Cool.
pick it up.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, same thing. We've done this in the past with the previous giveaways. It's easier to drop it off at the school. If that is not convenient, speak to us privately at our website, at our email. Someone can drop it and we'll discuss that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Now for the long awaited one. Whew, I
Oh,
don't know,
yes.
you know, I'm getting nervous.
Yeah,
wish
very
you
much
luck.
so. Very much so. Okay, so back to here. So now let's see, we're done. So now the problem though becomes, it's not really a problem, but let's see here. I believe if I'm not mistaken, it's 20. We're going to add that one. So are there any other eligible? No, I mean, I know the answer, of course, but I just want to make sure. All right. So hearing no objection, are you guys ready for the spin?
Yes.
Okay. Ready.
Tight one.
Good luck.
Come on. No whammy. Stop. Yes. Woohoo. Yeah. Got it. All right. Well, that was awesome. Nicely done. Nicely done.
Thank you. With my luck, it would have been that little sliver that was white and nothing.
The coin toss would have been on the edge of the coin.
Yeah.
Mhm. Right.
Well, congratulations to our winners, Ms. Gomez, as well as Yanar. I thank you
Yes.
very much.
Wonderful.
Based off the
Congratulations.
pictures, you both are getting the same thing and with a ton of love from everyone. So
Mhm.
thank you and congratulations.
A virtual
Yanar, you
high
gotta
five.
make sure they come back. You gotta bring more teachers in. Otherwise, just tell them you're gonna just take all the love.
And snacks.
Mr. Yanar, did you tell all the teachers it was canceled this evening? No? Oh, okay. Just trying.
I know Mr. Capizzo was supposed to be on, so we're gonna talk to him.
Okay.
All right, some new business. Actually, who wants to go and take this? Miss Sander, you want to talk this through? Because I know this is really important information and I'm looking forward to doing the poll.
I'll be happy to. Can you share your screen again so I can see the deck? I can't actually.
Sure, I did. And for some reason it doesn't want to populate. Hold on.
I had to take the screen in order to do the picker, so.
Gotcha. Do I have the right screen up?
Oh, yes. Okay. So
Okay,
this
go ahead.
this was something that came into the PTA mailbox. It's a DOE initiative about nominating a family healing ambassador for our ALHS community. These are a new initiative who someone will be trained and have to attend several training sessions, I believe, over the summer. Yeah, they're starting July 20th. I see those dates, and a planning workshop to just serve as the community health ambassador and coordinate some wellness programs and that sort of thing for our school community. The criteria, who is eligible, so they selected only certain community schools that were most impacted by COVID-19, and there's a parent in the school community is who they're looking for to be in this position. It is a position that does carry a stipend, $500 for your participation, and we're looking for people who would be interested, and I think then we'll have to nominate a candidate and register them with the DOE for them to attend some training sessions and be this ambassador for our community. There's more information. I don't think this is actually on the website because it came through the PTA mailbox, but we can certainly post it on the Facebook, and I guess maybe we'll
Well, actually, unfortunately, we'll have to do the voting tonight. Because by the time we go in, we'll maybe losing the spot to submit them. So we'll have to take voting tonight for anyone that is interested. The school, thank you, Ms. Mohamed, has already registered the school because we had to make sure the school was posted as a member that would be getting an ambassador. Just the name ambassador is actually kind of cool. So thank you, Ms. Mohamed. I believe you put us in for October that the ambassador, whoever is voted in, would be leading a session at Abraham Lincoln. Is that correct? I have to look at her email, but I believe she said
Yes,
she
that's
put us.
right.
Okay,
It was
thank
October.
you. Thank you so much. So October, we are the ambassador for our school will tentatively be running a session at the school. Now, mind you, you'll be having 4 sessions of training prior to that. These are the sessions of the training that they have that you will need to attend, as well as an optional planning workshop. I'm hoping somebody will like to step up and take the name of being a family healing ambassador at our school. If there's anyone that is interested, we will vote you guys in now. Any takers? Anybody? Somebody? Anybody from the executive board?
Bueller?
This is very, it seems like a lot of work, but just the fact that the school got chosen of all the communities, we're one of a few schools that were selected for this position. So for us to lose that spot could be detrimental in the future for the school.
Can we nominate anyone?
Yes.
I would
Cannot
love,
be me,
I would
so don't
love
put my
to
name in.
nominate Miss Sutton. Miss Sutton, would you? I think you would be so wonderful. Are you interested?
Do we know if the training sessions are in person or online? I think they'd be online.
That is a
Maybe
good
Miss
question.
Sutton isn't on the call anymore. She was there in the beginning.
Right.
Oh, she would have been so great.
Well, anyone that's chosen, it will be amazing. But
Yeah.
definitely. Is there anyone that wants to put your name in and try? Ms. Meadows?
Hi. I will do it if no
Oh, hold up. Is that Miss
one
Medina?
else
Yes.
doesn't want to do it
Miss
or can't
Medina
do
would
it.
be wonderful as
Yes.
well.
Okay, so I'm just writing this in here.
Who
So
did you
far,
recommend before I got cut off? Did you say Miss Fenton?
Who
was not-
who was just talking? That was Miss Medina that said maybe?
Nominated before? I couldn't hear. I'm still having a terrible connection.
I was asking if Miss Meadows might think about it, but she was shaking her head, no, no, no.
And before that, it was Miss Sutton. You're correct. Yeah. But Miss Sutton is not on the line anymore.
So far, we only have Miss Medina. Is that correct?
Yes, so far we have Miss Medina. If anyone else would like to become the ambassador,
The date. I think Mr.
Right.
Sandor asked if this is is it online? Did you answer that or in person? I missed that part.
I honestly am not, I think it's gonna be blended. I'll have to get more details on that. Cause I don't believe they posted any locations.
They haven't posted any locations for it, so they're gonna give us more details.
So if
when,
that's the case, it's probably gonna be leaning more towards virtual.
Miss Medina is asking, do we have time to send a blast? And I know the answer is no.
Yeah, unfortunately, no. They've asked that we incorporate the voting for this time frame so that we could get the information in and register personnel.
And how many people?
So far, we only have Miss Medina, so I'm
No,
gonna call this.
I'm sorry, how many people can you pick from one school? Like how many representatives?
Oh, only one ambassador.
Okay.
Yeah, only one ambassador.
That's perfect.
So far, for the Family Healing Ambassador, it came to the floor to call on Miss Medina. Does anyone else want to step up? Going once? Sorry, let me backtrack. Do I have a second for Miss Medina?
I second.
Woo,
I would
was
second as well. But
quick,
Miss
Miss
Sandor was so
Sandor.
quick.
okay, so going once. Anyone else? Going twice. All right, this is the third and last. Family Healing Ambassador, Miss Medina. Oh, hold on.
Congratulations.
Hold on. We might have one more person. Hold on. I don't know if the 1 second meant hold on, they're calling someone. Hold on.
If it's done remotely, my wife said she would do it maybe.
We would need some confirmation and let me look at something real quick. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm just double checking the email real quick. It is not saying it. Unfortunately, it's not stating it at all. Which I don't like. No, it's not stating whether it's going to be in person or not. Sorry that I'm taking so long to validate. It just says that they have to attend all 4 learning sessions, the 20th, the 27th, the 3rd, and the 10th.
Well, it's gonna be work obligation, so
So
That's
does she
what-
still want to put her name in for voting?
no.
I'm sorry, one more time. Was that a
You
yay
said
or
no.
nay?
No.
No? Okay. All right, so we're gonna go one more time. For Family Healing Ambassador, Miss Medina. Does anyone else want to challenge her? Going once? Going twice? 2.5? Okay, no challenges. Miss Medina, thank you very much. You are now Family Healing Ambassador. Between myself and Miss Mohamed, we will get with you in the days to come because I'm sure we'll need some additional information. But I think that information may have to come from the parent coordinator. So her and I will gather our information and get with you. Okay? And we'll also forward those emails that we're getting, but this is as much information as we've gotten so far. I think they just put this together about a week ago.
Miss Scott, I did want to share something really quickly.
Yes, please.
The surveys, the New York City surveys are out, and the school is giving $100 gift card. If the parents fill it out, we're gonna raffle it off. So I just wanted parents to know to please fill out the survey. I'm gonna put the website for the survey in the chat. So all you don't need a code this year, like a crazy code. You just put F and your child's ID number and you can take that survey. It's also available on our website. Let me just put over let me put over the website, the link. Okay. But if you have any questions, you can always, after you fill out that survey, I'm gonna send out today or tomorrow, actually tomorrow, I'm sending out the Opera form, so you can fill it out and just put in that you did the survey so you can qualify for the $100 gift card. So just so everybody knows, you're gonna get a Opera. If you don't have an Opera account, you can go on our website and request the information to sign up for an Opera account. And that's all I have. And I put in the survey information.
All right. Thank you so very much. I want to thank my ambassador. Thank you very much. I want to thank those that have won. Thank you very much for participating. Yanar, it is your job to get more teachers in next month. You cannot fail me. To Mr. Robinson and Miss Mohamed, thank you so much for your time and patience. I'm sure in the next 2-3 weeks, you'll be hearing more from myself, Mr. Jones, and Miss Brown. So be patient with us because we're probably gonna have a lot of fielded questions. But our SLT meeting will be next week, so hopefully we'll have most of those questions answered. Anyone have any questions, concerns, feedback, pros or cons?
I have
If
a
not,
question.
yes, please go ahead.
Oh
Oh, gosh, yes, your question. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. So I had a friend who's interested in transferring to Lincoln, but they did not apply for the application as an incoming 10th grader. She just wanted to know, is there a way that she could call in or whatever and do the transfer to Lincoln?
So the best thing for them to do is to go on the DOE website and go to the Family Welcome Center page and contact the Family Welcome Center remotely. Their phone numbers are also there, but all of those enrollment decisions go through them. So if the family were to call us, we would just direct them there. So
Okay.
the easiest way to find it is actually just Google it, DOE Family Welcome Center. It'll
Okay.
bring you right there.
Thank you.
I can try to look it up right now, actually, and put it in the chat.
Thank you. I believe you had one more question, Miss Meadows?
Yeah, it was regarding the Summer Rising program. I wanted to know if there was anything listed that actually showed the activities that they was having for like the credits for towards the next school year. And also my son is in the 9th grade, so I guess he could attend the Rising Summer Bridge program for the 10th graders. And I wanted to know if you kind of have an idea when that may be, what time of the summer that would be, because he did get selected for summer youth. And I, of course, don't want it to interfere with that. I would love for him to attend both. And being he doesn't have his schedule yet, maybe he'll find out when he attend the orientation on this Saturday for summer youth. Maybe if it was later in the summer, like I think you were saying, like right before school start, the end of August, maybe, would you do a program that late? I just want to make sure that he has, the opportunity to do both.
Because we just got the guidance on the details of how we can run these things. We don't have a formal dates yet. Usually the summer bridge is usually a 2-week program towards the end of July, beginning of August.
Okay. And it's usually like a morning thing from like 9 to 12.
Right. Yeah, that's right. And I put the link in the chat there for you to get directly to the Family Welcome Center.
You actually sent it directly to me, and I just put it in.
Oh, okay.
I posted it as well. I Googled while you were speaking.
Oh, wow.
So I think it's there. in the chat.
Efficient.
Awesome teamwork. Thank you so much.
I have one more question. Regarding the lead testing of the water fountains, I had wanted to get some more information about that and what what the remediation plan is. And also I know that if some water fountains are not going to be available, is there any way the kids can bring in water bottles? I know my son has had trouble and says that he can only bring in an empty one, or it has to be sealed or anything like that. I mean, is that set in stone? There's no way to change that, given that the water fountain situation might be a little difficult. It's getting kind of hot.
So there were 2 water fountains that were tested with elevated levels. Those were out in the field house. They weren't inside the school. So there's water fountains on every floor that students can still use. Students can bring in a sealed water bottle. And that's due to really just because safety concerns. But as far as the remediation plan, they haven't sent us any information on that. It's just, as it states in the letter, those fountains are closed until further notice, and they're not just closed, they're completely shut off. So no student can get water from them. And we just use the other fountains. We're fortunate we have a lot of fountains in the building and other water sources, out where the field house is. So those are shut down, so no student is gonna, be contaminated, and we'll just use the other ones that are not contaminated.
Mr. Robinson, do we have the results of every single fountain and their locations? Is it public information?
I think it's on the letter. I think there might be a link to see them. No?
I didn't see one, but then I wasn't looking for the link. I think Ms. Attwood is shaking her head that there was no link.
There was
And
no
maybe,
link there?
maybe I didn't see it, but I couldn't see which fountain had what level.
I only saw the 2 that were contaminated. but you're right, I don't,
So at the end of the letter, there's a bunch of resources there. I thought one of them was other information on
I just put the
like
letter
previous
X.
data.
I did put the letter in the chat. It says there is a, well, I don't know. It says for more information regarding the testing program or sampling results. I'm not sure if that will give you direct information about our school or more about just the program itself, you know?
I think that's where the results are posted.
Okay, I can put that link here from that letter. Um,
okay. Thank you everyone for sharing that. And also, I found out.
Just
Oh,
to follow up, like that letter just says that 2 of the fountains were tested high and in the athletic field and were shut off, but it doesn't really give me like other levels of lead in other, you know, like I know it's probably different in every.
Ms.
I don't know,
Attwood,
like a full thing. Basically, what I would like.
Ms. Attwood,
Yes.
did you look at the link where it says
Yes.
click reports
Yeah,
and look
I
for
did
the
that.
facility?
Yeah, and so I looked
Okay,
at,
and
I
even
clicked the
then it
link,
just
I went to
shows the two.
facilities. Yeah, so I went to the link, I went to facilities, there's a letter posted there, and what the letter says is that, you know, what Mr. Robinson said, which is like the two of the fountains on the athletic fields were found to have elevated lead levels and were shut off and turned off. But it doesn't give me a detail of the lead levels for each fountain inside the school.
Okay.
Like the one that weren't shut off, because I know there's a tolerable level, but I'd love to know. And also I wanted to know the I guess for my child, as we prepare for September, what I really would like, and I'm sure all the parents would like as well, is to know which fountains are the safest in the school, which have the lowest level of lead. So because I know they need to drink water and they bring a full bottle that's sealed in the morning, but it's not enough. And so, and if you bring like a huge bottle, it's very heavy in the backpack. So they always refill at lunchtime. And I'd love to know like, oh, that one on the second floor is very safe and has a very low, or maybe that's the one on the first floor, or maybe the one on the fourth floor. I would love to have that information. I think that would be very useful.
Mr. Robinson, if you could try to get us guidance on that before the SLT meeting, otherwise it will be brought up again during that time.
Yeah, I think in the first paragraph there, it has the link. That said
That's what she was talking about. She went to the link and it just
complete
gave pretty
test.
much the same information that is on page 2.
I mean,
So we
unless
can
I'm
look
just
at-
not seeing it, but I'm reading the letter right now, the one that's linked. When you know, when you click on the link, you click on facilities, it gives you a list of letters, and the last letters is dated May 19th, 2021, which I think is the one that was, you know, they're saying on April 22nd, all operational sources of water at Lincoln Athletic Field, including for drinking and cooking, were tested for the presence of lead. The laboratories showed elevated levels in 2 of the 19 samples. So it doesn't even say that the school, it was just like the athletic field. I was wondering, is there like anywhere
So obviously
all of the water sources with their lead level so that I could just say, okay, those are like the top 3 water source that are safest for children to refill their bottles. And I have not seen that anywhere. If you see it and I missed it, I apologize.
All right, we're gonna make sure to follow up on this. Mr. Robinson, if you could get confirmed response by tomorrow, if this link, if maybe we are missing something. Ms. Atwood and I will follow up with this in the next couple of days, excluding the weekend.
yeah, sure, and I can
Alrighty.
reach out to the office over there if I can't find the information you're asking for.
Please, yeah, because I'm looking at it too, and I it's pretty much the same thing as the second page.
It's just
But
like-
we're at past 2 hours.
Yeah.
So I want to close this up. This is important, so I'm gonna follow up with an email first thing in the morning. But I would like to go and try to give everyone their night back. I appreciate the time. Does anyone have any other questions before I close up? Ms. Sander, can you please make sure you put a star next to the information about level testing in the school for the fountains that are inside the school? Because that is one hot question I want to bring up during SLT if Mr. Robinson isn't able to find the response, which I'm confident he will.
Well, I can only ask. If it's not there, I can only ask the office, so.
But that's what I mean.
We'll
You'll make
get there.
sure to run this down for us. You won't just
Yes.
pass it off.
Yes.
All right. So if no one else has any other questions, I'm sorry, does somebody have a question or is that just background noise?
That's background noise.
Oh, okay, not bad. Here's some important information that we have with the school pupil path, New York City Schools account. As a reminder, pupil path, the New York City Schools account will have the preliminary, not credit cards, grades. And if for some reason you're not quite sure of what's going on with your children, please contact the teacher, Miss Mohamed, Mr. Robinson, and of course, definitely get the guidance counselor involved. I know for me, my son's guidance counselor is heavily involved. If she sees an issue, she reaches out to me and vice versa. I have a very good rapport with them. So I would try definitely to get the guidance counselor involved before you get everyone else involved, especially if the teacher hasn't been responding back. All right, does anybody have any questions, concerns? And Ms. Attwood, do you want to just say one more thing about donations?
You know me and my greedy heart. So we got some donation of Cheddar Up, and I would like to thank everyone who were able to donate $5. That's much appreciated. And we will keep, going at it and post it. But if you scroll back up in the chat, and if you have been waiting for that time to do it, I've started to sound like public radio, this is like fundraising week. But before we sign off, if you can click on Cheddar Up, it's just a little bit up in the chat.
It's right here on this page, PTA dues, HTTPS.
Maybe Mr. Sandor can repost it, but it's also on the website at the school. So there's a way to do it that way as well. And if you click on it, you can just, Mr. Sandor just reposted it. So if you click on it, even after you sign off, you can actually donate.
Oh, I didn't even see it. Thank you, Mr. Sandor.
Wonderful. Both in stereo, Miss Scott and Mr. Sandor. Thank you very much.
All right. If that is all, I want to thank the entire team, the school team, as well as all the parents that took time to come on tonight. Kind of sorry that we were past the 2 hours, but Regents and the calendar, I think, were a high priority. And of course, communication, which I know Mr. Robinson is going to work really hard on this in the next 10 days. So thank you. Thank you, team. Thank you, everyone. And our next meeting is scheduled for June 10th at 6 p.m. That will be our last PTA meeting for this particular school year. All right. Everyone have a great night. Thank you so much. And be safe out there. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.